The United States has a rich history of UFO sightings and abductions, which appears to go far back as early white settlement. The following account was recorded by the governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony in the early 17th century. The military did not appear to take these sightings seriously until the 1940s, after the Battle of Los Angeles, Mount Rainier in Washington, and Roswell in New Mexico. But in 1639, Pilgrims described a UFO sighting that occurred near present-day Boston. The incident was probably the first ever written record in the Americas by a government official. The governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony, John Winthrop, recorded in his journal dated March the 1st details of an account of strange events that took place. Winthrop's story describes bizarre, otherworldly happenings, from inexplicable lights to missing hours of time. Winthrop claims that a James Everell was rowing in a boat with two other men in the Muddy River, Boston, when all of a sudden a giant beam of light came into view. The men's description claimed that the light hovered above them for a while and then flew at high speed back and forth between their vessel and the village of Charlestown, 2 miles away. Winthrop gave the following description. When it stood still, it flamed up and was about 3 yards square. When it ran, it contracted into the figure of a swine. It ran as swift as an arrow towards Charlton, and so up and down about 2 or 3 hours, a distance of about 2 miles. Everell and his companions watched the speeding light for hours. As the men watched the light event, it then came down towards their boat. Yet, when the light vanished, the men realised their boat had returned to its original location. They had no memory of rowing against the tide or dropping anchor. They speculated that the light somehow transported them back to where they started. It appears the men had been abducted. However, back in the 17th century, they had no such things as hypnotic regression, and the men would probably have suffered nightmares. Keep in mind that these men did not live in a world filled with light like we do today. So imagine their intense fear and wonder as the pitch black above them erupted into light. As they watched the light, mesmerized, they reported that it began to contract and change shape. Winthrop claims that other credible persons saw the same light, about the same place. So what did the Pilgrims really encounter that night in 1639? The most common theory was that the light in the sky was an ignis fatuus, which is a phenomena that often appears over marshland at night time, caused by a combustion of gas from decomposed organic matter. However, if Winthrop's report was correct, the light was not rising from the swamp, but shooting across the sky, making that explanation unlikely. If what the early settler described is true, it would mark the oldest recorded UFO sighting in North American history, and quite possibly the first UFO abduction in North America. According to another entry in Winthrop's diary, 5 years later, on January 18th, 1644, about midnight, 3 men coming in a boat to Boston saw 2 lights arise out of the water near the north point of the town cove, and went at a small distance to the town, and so to the south point, and there vanished away.